I wanted to thank everyone for coming and supporting us to go to New Orleans in April. And I'll just introduce everyone. This is Barbara, Kyle, Katie, Caitlin, Lindsay, Drew, and Mike. And then I'll introduce you to Cindy Meyer, my mom.
Well, it seems appropriate that we're gathered here today in this holiday season of giving. And from the bottom of my heart, I really do thank, can you hear me? I thank you for being here. Return home. By honoring these teens as they give up their spring vacation to travel to the New Orleans area to rebuild a house. We're teaching them to give what they have to offer to make the world better. In this holiday season, you know, we're usually looking for some type of meaning in our lives. And the season's filled with meaningful stories of miracles, the miraculous birth of a child, or a saint by the name of Nicholas, who cared so much about children. He wanted to bring them a gift to show his love, or a small amount of oil that miraculously lasted 9 days. So I've been asked to share my story with you, which I think has been filled with miracles about how I became involved with St. Bernard Project. To me, my connection with them has been miraculous because it gave me a way to make a small difference to people who needed to know that they mattered to somebody. Through my work with this organization, I came in touch with people who chose to make a difference in the world, and everything I've ever done in connection with this particular group has made a difference. And it's made a difference in the life of someone waiting to return home. So it all began 2 years ago. I was working at the state, and the director came back, and she had been in New Orleans. She came back from a conference, and she said she wanted to do something to help. So a gift was handed to me that day. I was asked to help coordinate it, which was a blessing. I had been searching for a way to make a difference. My mother had died, and I was trying to find a way to honor her life. And I started researching organizations, and I called this one, and it was different because it was a small grassroots organization. People who were just, it was filled with AmeriCorps volunteers and people who were just gathering together to rebuild homes. So within a few months, we did some fundraising and raised $5,000 to help this sweet lady named Miss Leola move back into her house. And you're actually going to be able to see her. She's in a video Caitlin's going to do later. And we organized a volunteer group to travel out there to help rebuild a house. So there were 8 of us that went out. So I've just been constantly amazed by St. Bernard Project. Their love for the homeowners shows in everything they do. The sincerity and integrity with which they go about simply and efficiently rebuilding a gutted house for just a minimal amount of money. $12,000 is all it takes to rebuild a gutted house. My involvement with them changed my life, as my family knows. So it just took a different path. I'm no longer working for the state. I went back to school full-time at Evergreen. And I'm working with 3 other Evergreen students, and we're doing an internship project. St. Bernard Project says they need 3 things. They need people to know that there are homeowners still waiting to get home and they're not getting any help. So we have somebody, Jackie Ferrato, she's putting together the community outreach portion. They need money because they're gathering volunteers and funds. They need money to buy basically the tools and the lumber and things to rebuild. So Betsy Hagan is our fundraising guru. Caitlin Meyer, Caitlin and Lindsay and I went out over the summer, and she did an amazing job of putting together a video. And as we continue on, she's working on procurement with Betsy, and she's going to be out doing community awareness with Jackie. My job is to put together volunteer groups to go out, and here we have a group of teens going out in April. We have another group, all of these students, Jackie, Betsy, I, and some other people, and anyone who wants to join us, we're going out over Memorial Day weekend. I've been to St. Bernard Parish 3 times now. I have another trip with these teens in April. Then I'll be part of the May trip, and I'm sure that won't be my last one. I've become friends with so many people there. I've gotten to know the homeowners. They're generous, hardworking people. I know Zach and Liz, the co-founders. They gave up their comfortable lives. They lived in DC. They have an amazing story. So 6 months after Katrina, they decided that, well, they're just going to go help. They're going to go lend their hands to the rebuilding effort. And they got there to St. Bernard Parish, which is a county, and they were astounded because no one was rebuilding. What they encountered were people who were homeless and hungry. So they gave up their comfortable existence. He was a lawyer and she was a teacher. They went back home, packed up, moved, and started putting together volunteers and tools, and they just started rebuilding and formed a nonprofit. They've been my personal heroes for 2 years now, so it seems fitting that Liz McCartney, one of the co-founders, was just named CNN Hero of the Year. They just had a big special on CNN. I don't know if any of you saw that, so that was just amazing. Liz and Zach are going to be in the Olympia area here in March. We're going to be putting together some community outreach events and fundraisers, so stay tuned. If you want to meet them, you'll be able to. If you want any more information about how you can help, or if you want to be part of a volunteer group, let one of us know. When my daughters, Lindsay and Caitlin, and I were out there in July, we were interviewing them, and we asked all the homeowners the same questions. We said, we're going to go back home and we're going to tell people your story. What do you want them to know? They all said the same two things. They said, please tell people that we're not lazy. They're all hardworking people with jobs. What happened is that when Katrina hit and the levees flooded their county, it was left flooded for 2 weeks of 12 feet of water. So they had no homes and they had no jobs. So they had no way to pay the mortgage. So by the time they got any money, if they ever did, if they ever got insurance or government help, they were so far behind on their mortgage that in order to keep the house, they paid that, but they still had a house that couldn't be lived in. So that's what these people are encountering. They want you to know they're not lazy, and they just want to not be forgotten. And that's their story. They say, please don't forget us. And I just thank you for being here. And now we're going to have a little pause while our teams go, and they're going to get ready for the fashion show. So if you haven't bought raffle tickets, or you want to get a cup of tea, please do so. Thank you.